What's going on YouTube? So beside me is a Nissan Frontier concept vehicle, and this is the Project 72X, which does go throwback to the Datsun 720 model, which was one of Nissan's best-selling pickup trucks back in the 80s. That was a little bit before my time, but it certainly was a very popular and very iconic Nissan truck. So what Nissan is doing is throwing in all of these elements, really giving you a modern Frontier with some of those really cool elements that may have reminded you of back in the past when you owned one of those older Nissan trucks. So what we're going to do here is a first look video here at Chicago Auto Show. So let's go ahead and get to it. Now this particular model is the Project 72X. So this is the cheapest one of the concept vehicles they've shown off. There is also an Adventure, and then there's also the Hardbody. This is based on the S trim with four-wheel drive. So this is going to be one of the more available and accessible options of the concept vehicles. So let's go ahead and break down a few of the elements that you're going to get with this particular trim level. So right up in the front, we do have this blacked out grille area. This kind of a matte finish, but not exactly fully matte. It has a little bit of gloss to it. We have our Nissan branding here in the middle, and then you will notice for our headlights, these are just going to be the regular halogen projector style, because this is based on the S, as I mentioned a little bit earlier. Now, dropping down, you will notice a difference here. We're going to have a 2.5-inch lift for the Project 72X Frontier. Now, I'm sure you've probably already noticed one of the biggest design elements about the Project 72X, and that are these right here. I've never seen a wheel design that looks like this, and I have to say I'm a really big fan. These are white painted steel wheels. These are 17-inch wheels right here, and it has just a cool look to it. I really like the way it contrasts with the gray paint of this particular tester, and then also in contrast with the gray paint, you'll notice that we have this hood graphic here. And on the door trim, we're also going to have this graphic, which really does give a throwback to that previous model. Now you can see it right up there on the display. It is really the exact same graphic. So for those of you that maybe owned one, this is going to be a super cool element to have on your modern Frontier. Now, let's take a look at the back. I'll give Drew a second to turn that camera around. You will notice that Nissan has done some cool elements back here as well. We have the Frontier branding spelled out in white, which once again contrasts nicely. It also matches nicely with the wheels. As far as the taillights, these are actually going to be the LED style, which I'm happy to see. We have 4x4 as well, and then you have the side graphic right here as well as your exposed exhaust pipe. Now, let's talk about the bed. Drop that down. I'm pleasantly surprised to see the tailgate is dampened. On this particular model, we do not have a bed liner. However, we're going to have the traditional Frontier bed. So this is, of course, as usable as any other Frontier. And you're also going to have the elements along the side that really give it a really cool design along the side. It also has Frontier branding inside. Now, instead of talking about the interior of that Project 72X, I'm just going to go ahead and talk about the exterior of a different version of this Frontier concept that you can get. Now, they haven't really changed much with the interior, in case you're wondering. If you want to know more about that, we do have a video on our channel. But this one right here is the Project Adventure. As you can see, they've done a lot with this one on the outside as well. This is based on the Pro 4X trim level, and we do have a 5-inch lift, which I'm sure you're noticing just how tall this version is. And of course, that's going to mean you have a lot of ground clearance for this model. Now, another big element is you're going to have these 33-inch mud terrain tires on this particular model, and then this is going to be basically your signature Pro 4X wheel for the Frontier. Now, coming up, we do have a snorkel. That's always a really cool element to see. It also looks like it's made of carbon fiber. I imagine this is just a nice little design touch. It's not real carbon fiber. I could be wrong about that. And then let's talk about the side design. I'm sure you're probably noticing, you're like, what are all these lines? Well, this is, of course, a map of the United States. So as you can see, you get all of that cool elements. It would be very cool to see one of these in real life, that's for sure. Another thing the Project Adventure is going to throw in is this Yamica Rack here in the tailgate. As you can see, you can put a lot of stuff on that, including, I believe this is a full tent on this model. So in case you're, wanting to go off-road adventuring, that it is called the Adventure after all, you can do that with the Frontier. Now, of course, we're at an auto show. There is a lot of people here looking at these Frontiers. The hardbody version is over there. As you can see, several people are filming it right now. I'm just going to give you a look from a distance. But of course, those are the 3 different versions that you can get with this Frontier concept. Now, of course, if you're looking to buy one of these, hopefully Nissan will make this into a production version and they will announce, when that will be available for the general consumers. But if you haven't subscribed to our channel already, we would really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button down below. Also follow us on TikTok as well as Instagram, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.